we all remember the Enron scandal, and we've all been affected in one way or the other with this recent recession. What do these things have in common? When research was done, a lot of it showed that it was within the accounting. And we've heard before the old adage, accounting is the language of business, or at least those of us that are in the business field have heard it. As a student working on my bachelor's degree in accounting, I hear or have heard that adage at least once in all my classes. And if you're employed with a company or you own your own business, this language is something that's vital in order to survive financially. As I mentioned, accounting is a language, and you may ask, how is accounting a language, and why do we need this language? And I'd like to aid in giving y'all all a little bit of an understanding to those questions. So first, let's look at the how it is a language. According to Zishaw Begg in his article, Accounting is the Language of Business, he mentions that it is a language in which business speaks because accounting provides for a standardized vocabulary. You hear words like revenue or cost of goods sold or inventory. It defines the grammatical rules for posting transactions, and that's generally known as general accounting principles. It also establishes the forms for the presentation of the economic information. We know 4 of the primary reports being balance sheet, your income statement, retained earnings, and stockholders' equity. Now to move on to the why it's important. It is through the use of the standard vocabulary and the regulated reporting that management can decide on the pricing of products, as well as their services. They can have an idea of the performance of their management that they can in turn use for giving bonuses at end of quarter or end of year. Investors use the information to be able to predict future growth and decide whether or not they want to invest in a particular company. So it does affect like the stock prices of different companies. Creditors use the information to decide whether or not there's a risk in investing in a company. So that is why there is an economic and a regulatory and global forcing of higher quality reporting done by companies. And as we can see here, from the Occupational Outlook Handbook through the Department of Labor's website, we can see that the work environment that is typically affected by having accountants is going to be payroll services, accounting, tax preparation. That makes up about 25%, government and finance insurance, each 8%. And it goes on to show management and manufacturing. Additionally, it shows the job outlook for accountants. And we can see that the accountants are through 2022 showing an increase of 13%, which also is above the total of all other occupations in the different industries. And the reason for that is because most companies are going to have that need of finding the standards to be done by accountants so that they can make sure that there is a clear, concise, and complete reporting of all their information. So we can see how the accounting is a language for business. And we can also see that without this language being taken care of by accountants, that a business, their growth couldn't be predicted. The pricing could be done wrong, which can cause a business to fail and have to declare bankruptcy. Or you can have a good business that's doing well, that is showing that it's doing bad. So we can see how the accounting world does impact us all, even those that are just working a position in a company. It still affects your payroll. So